Alliance's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Joy Delay Studios, where we specialize in being able to have a delay between our audio and our video. Of course, I'm Capitalist, joined by Durka. We make jokes because
we have no idea how to fix it.
We can't do anything else. What do you do? What do you do, guys?
We tried.
You just move on with your life.
Well, by we I mean Cap tried. He pressed a few buttons and it didn't get any better, but it didn't get any worse. I think that's something to take from this experience. You didn't break stuff more than it was before, right?
I mean, our studio, our Studio One is very, very complicated. It's not like your normal studio setup you would see in Join Dota for like.
It's not the regular 2 PC production setup with a mixing desk. This has got so many levers and buttons and dials and switches.
and like when our tech guy can't even figure out like the whole static problem that's been happening. Believe me, we've looked into it. We understand. But yeah, when we can't even figure that out, the tech guy can't even figure that out. Like, how am I supposed to fix things? You know, that's not me. I didn't get any training in this. Anyway, guys, hello, welcome to Game 2, Alliance versus OG, and the draft is going by pretty quick because, well, it's pretty obvious what Alliance are going to take when their first pick, when Doom is still on the pool. While OG respond with the Wisp Gyrocopter.
Not letting them get the Lich Doom, though. And I think that's a big component, especially after the nerf.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, it's not a massive nerf, but it's not minuscule either. You know, one of the greatest strengths of Alliance with the Doom is not the fact that he out farms people from the offlane. It's not that, Doom Ultimate is such a great spell.
Mm-hmm.
But they play super aggressively with it. They're able to actually run into people from like level 2 or 3 with the Lich Frostblast and the Scorched Earth. They just run at you, and then they limit your farm massively. That's like the biggest thing, is they stop your one-roll hero from getting a massive amount of farm, and then everything else is just a domino effect. You then out-farm heavily with the Devour, and then you get into your levels to go and crush team fights.
I still feel like Doom is OP. Like, I don't really... I feel like the nerfs were not enough to... Like, Scorched Earth is still incredibly strong, right? And that, for me, was the ability that made Doom... Like, Doom itself, at the ability, is always going to be somewhat amazing, right? But the Scorched Earth is what actually gave him, some prevalence in the laning phase and gives him enough sustain and everything else, So, I don't know. Like, Scorched Earth wasn't hit that hard. Doom is still... Like, you can still build Doom in other ways, right? You could still go the Shiva's AC build, and instead of going the Blank Ags or something like that. Like, you don't have to go Ags, so...
That's the thing. How often did we actually see Ags? Like,
yeah, it wasn't that often.
Yeah. I don't think it was like the build. We even saw people experimenting with kind of treads drums, Sanjanyasha. I think Matumbaman did that a couple of times. Then it became the phase drums into like Vlad's Shiva's Guard. Ring of Bassi, such a great value item on him.
All right, so our bands, they're going to take away the S4 Bat Riders to start with, while Alliance take away some of the more aggressive heroes, such as the Undying. They're not going to let Fly get that one again. And ban away the Dazzle as well.
Fourth ban for OG. Like, what do you even look towards here? Okay, there's the AA takeout. Now, we've seen Miracle switch up a lot of the time with Notel, and they're great at doing this. I think OG is one of these teams that is very dynamic in their role attribution for their players. So Miracle can play the safe lane Gyro with a +1, a Witch Doctor, a Rubik, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
While Notel now can actually look towards Sven, Chaos Knight. Things that can pair up with the Wisp, if they even want to do that. You can still have the Wisp Gyro, a mainstay combo for quite some time right now.
5 seconds remaining.
That's with Darkseer still out there. It's difficult to pass up on that.
Winter
Wyvern gonna go the way of OG. There's still the Darkseer in the pool, which is a little bit concerning. When you already have the Gyrocopter, this AoE combination. I'm sure OG would be perfectly willing to pick it up again. Meanwhile, Alliance are actually going to get one of the better counters as an offlaner left against Doom. Slaughter, I feel like, is still one of the strongest heroes left when it comes to offlaners outside of Doom. And his incredible amount of minus armor takes advantage of the Doom's, starting low armor. It works well with heroes like the Tusk. I feel like, in a way, this is actually a block pick. That maybe they felt like it wasn't going to be the Darkseer, but the Slardar. That would have actually gone the way of OG. And this could mean that they're going to be running Doom as a one position. The other side of the table, though, is Tusk and Slardar, or Slardar support Tusk offlane, or maybe they're both supports, which would be weird. But
well, that's the Sven for no tail.
Yeah.
Nice pick up there. The bonus armor you get against Slardar is pretty damn good. I think the way to look at this for Alliance is that they very rarely, or they most commonly have certain heroes for certain players, right? I think Loda, Slardar is one of his heroes, definitely. For the past 2 years, he's played it on and off, but Doom for Bulldog is what you usually look at, and then Nuts on the Tusk. Those are the usual pickups for them. So then you can try and work out the roles from there on out. Because Alliance, they have been good with their dynamic drafting of late, actually picking up different heroes, but switching up players onto those heroes is something that they're still lacking, I feel.
Yeah, that's true. So you think they're going to go back to, like, the Lodos Slardar?
Yeah, and then have Doom offlane.
Okay.
Or they could run aggro, actually, here. Slardar, Tusk, Bane. Because with OG potentially looking at dual lanes here, Winter Wyvern Wisp is a decent tri-lane with the Sven. You've got stun, slows, and the sort of steroid from the Wisp to chase people down. But it's just the raw lockdown from Alliance right now.
What about dual lanes? The Tusk kind of roaming around, the Bane left with the Slardar. Yeah, there's a lot of different options. Alliance can run this so many different ways, and we won't really know until the last pickup. As OG, I like the Sven. I feel like it's one of the better counters when a Slardar is going into the pool and you already have a decent amount of physical damage, so you're just able to kind of ramp that up, increases everyone armor with the Warcry. It offsets the level 1.
Again, I always
level 1 amp.
I always find it troublesome when Alliance have left their final pick to be that S4 hero a lot of the time. Razor is the one hero that sort of stands out for me in this draft, with amplified damage with the stuns they've got, and just being able to last in lane and get himself a decent amount of farm against whoever he's against, whether it be the Wisp Tiny or a final hero. But Lena, going to be the takeout there. Alliance, what do you think OG are looking for? The Dark. Oh wow, yeah, of course, Darkseer is still out there. Yeah, no,
there's no way that off would actually still be left in the pool if OG don't fourth pick it. So, what offlaners do we have left? You've got
like you put Earthshaker into the maybe pile and say that's a consideration, but it's not going to be.
Clockwork's not amazing here. It's not great versus Doom. Not amazing versus Tusk because you can snowball. It's okay at holding in the Slardar, but it's still dangerous. The Phoenix is still out there as more teamfight potential. You do have a decent amount of control around it, but I feel like the Phoenix is just not very good in this meta right now because you oftentimes have a lot of physical damage and minus armor, and Phoenix has naturally low armor.
Take the Wind Ranger as a block pick as well against Alliance, because the Razor and Wind Ranger are going to be good for S4 here. But then again, it's fitting in, and Moon likes to go for those either initiating heroes. He is the synergy player, right? He's the guy that goes for your Slardars, the Blink Initiators. Oh,
whoa!
Hang on a second.
Okay, so some sort of dual lane scenario. Winter Wyvern Sven top and Wisp Gyro bottom.
What?
Or is this off lane Sven?
Does this put Moon on the Sven then?
Yeah, I guess so, probably. And Alliance now have to think about what they're going to match up against the Invoker. The only thing that's stuck in my head is like the Templar Assassin, but you want an Initiator. You want something that actually sets up the Doom and the Slardar, I think.
I think Wind Ranger is your pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, I could see that. For me, it's like just... No, I guess you don't have to have an Initiator. With Slardar having the Blink Dagger, you've already have the Snowball.
And then potentially Winter's Curse or the Wisp relocate in, give you targets for the Shackle to be good.
Yeah, I like Wind Ranger a lot here. I think that's probably one of the best.
There's so much physical damage coming out of, Sven and Gyro early on. There's a magic burst in the first sort of 10-15 minutes, but again, it's one of those situations where you're trying to find that one pick that ticks all the boxes, and it's such a difficult prospect.
Yeah.
Miracle Invoker again. So yeah, it will be Moon Meander on the Sven.
So what are our bets? Do you think it's going to be dual lane? Do you think Winter Wyvern actually goes mid at the beginning and it's an off lane Sven to start with? Or do they run something aggro against the fact that Slardar, Tusk, Bane, you could probably beat out that lane just because you have good harassment through these three heroes. But then the matchup in the 1v1 wouldn't actually be favorable. You're Sven versus Doom. So that can't be it.
That's the thing, there are so many options, but then every time you look at an option, there's a way for Alliance to counter it. It's going to be mind games initially, trying to get that intel to deliver on your laning stage. Like, there's one option that we haven't really looked at, which is the potential for Miracle to go safe lane and be an Exalt Invoker with Sunstrike, and then you go aggressive with maybe Wisp Gyro mid, and then Sven Wyvern off lane, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just try and throw Sunstrikes out, because then you've got stuns on all your lanes pretty much. Well, Arctic Burn, not really a massive stun. But it definitely slows them down to give them that Sunstrike potential.
Okay. Pause writes nuts. He's going to start out with boots first on the Tusk. So perhaps a little bit more roaming perspectives from him.
Where does Bulldog go, though? So it is load on the Slardar, definitely. Bulldog Doom.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of his... They were running Slardar before.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was... Very, very much before it was cool.
Yeah, he's
back when it was like, what?
Slardar the hero? The brown boots blink Midas build?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was Slardar who was playing when they found that bug with the turn rate of Blink Dagger, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or the cast angle of it, or whatever it was. What are they up to? So Miracle mid, Sven Wyvern bot, and they will run Wisp and Gyro up at top. Interesting. Alliance are just running around scrambling, thinking, okay, where are they? Who are they putting where? They're already burning through a little bit of regen on S4.
Yeah, it took quite a lot of damage from Miracle. Sitting on that high ground, No Tail is actually running by himself in the enemy jungle, trying to get some intel, because he knows there's pretty much no one here who can actually challenge him. That rocket barrage. So they see the Emerald Bulldog is in the top lane. Do they rotate their lanes out, knowing that's going to be happening?
Yeah, do you want the Wyvern or the Gyro to be against? I think those are the two heroes you look against the Doom, right? Arctic Burn or Rocket Barrage?
Battle begins.
I'm not sure.
Looks like they are going to choose to head down to bottom lane. Want to keep their matchup against Alliance, putting pressure on that Slardar. I think that's pretty essential that you have to keep the Slardar shut down early. If he doesn't get a good start in the laning phase, he's such a bad safe laner. Safe lane carry, he just doesn't do enough for you if he has a bad start.
And what creep can Bulldog get? What's the best creep you can get at level 1? Hellbear Smasher?
I don't know. Is it? I'm not sure if it is. For me, I usually look at it, defensively, because I'm an offlane player. So I usually look at it going, okay, armor or regen, and I'm not sure which is actually better.
So I've seen a lot of people sort of past 5 minutes actually look for the healing troll as well. The mana regen's pretty good, plus the little heal you get.
Yeah, regen's actually so essential on Doom. It's why Ring of Bacillus is one of his first picked up items. And challenging the Slardar gets a lot of damage on him in the process. Meanwhile, Bane actually choosing to go for the level 1 Enfeeble.
Miracle can die at mid.
Yeah, he's actually going to play aggressively with a Cold Snap, though. S4 has the power shot left. It's not going to be enough damage, it looks like. In fact, Miracle does definitely dodge it.
Both of these players are very, very tight.
It reminds me of the old S4 versus Fada matchup, where those two would play so aggressively on Queen of Pain and Puck against each other.
Is S4 8K? I'm sure he hits it recently. The 8K versus 8K matchup.
16,000
MMR matchmaking points towards the middle lane.
What a matchup to watch.
Fly is losing a lot of HP here. And rotation's in from the Wisp as well, as the Gyro force him back, though.
I mean, just think about it. That's... S4 and Miracle combined are actually about 20 different Twitch memers. That's pretty insane. About 10 different Redditors.
So mean. Truthful, but but mean. So I was thinking it's like, you know, there's like triple my MMR between these two players. It's disgusting.
How's Notel been doing in CS? 6-0 against that constant spam out of Enfeeble. And he's actually got no more mana for Enfeeble. That's how much he spammed it out already. But it does have an effect. Notel seems to have missed a decent amount of CS. The fact that Slaughter's actually ahead of him, despite the very clear control of the lane going to the Gyrocopter. Middle lane, no, Miracle. Able to get away thanks to the Ghost Walk. But still, that's pressure applied.
I think one of the big things is that Moon Meander's able to farm up on this top lane. Now, Bulldog with his Frost Armor and the Scorched Earth playing aggressively, but he doesn't know Fly's up here. The Winter Wyvern could come in when Scorched Earth is down.
My question is, does he eat the mango for the Devour?
When now?
Well, he was out of mana earlier, but now he's gonna be out of mana. If he just, never uses Scorched Earth, even then he's gonna be slowing down his Devours a bit. Alright, the Winter Wyvern's gonna come in now. They do have that ice armor still up on him, so it looks like Admiral Bulldog's gonna be fine easily because of it. Bottom lane, Loda. Left alone while Ake goes back to the fountain. Nice stun there. Gets some damage onto No-Tail, but more importantly picks up the CS he would have missed otherwise. And Miracle actually going to be charged up here with a snowball. If they could steal this rune away from him, get the haste rune. Oh, they've taken it. Now Miracle's going to be forced to Ghost Walk to survive, but they have the dust. He takes away that haste. That was a smart play, but it's still the power shot to be able to get the kill. Miracle. I mean, he recognized the fact that Tusk had the dust, so he didn't try and go invis because that just would have slowed him down even further.
I want to take him out of the game. Alliance doing pretty well in the early stages. The Slardar finding value down in this bottom lane. The Wisp Gyro yet to play aggressively into this, but now that No-Tail is getting closer to level 6, he just hit level 4 and forcing them back with the flat cannon, even though he's enfeebled up. Still annoying to actually deal with there.
Snowball in from the side. They're going to try and pick off the Wisp, and he knows they don't have Tether up, so this is a very easy kill. Loda actually challenging No-Tail a little bit, but he has dropped a bit low. And, well, let's see what he picks up here. Usually the safe lane Slardar goes for treads. Occasionally you see Tranquil Boots on the offlane Slardar, but I think he's just going to go back to base and probably pick up Magic Wand because it's a Wisp lane. It's usually essential. Nice TP out from Ake. Good read.
S4 is crushing this mid lane, though.
Moon may actually be dead here in the top lane. If Admiral Bulldog can run him down and get one more tick, the Magic Wand is actually going to be enough to keep Moon alive, but Admiral Bulldog is able to beat down the Sven, will die in the process underneath the tower, but still, he got the kill, brought himself up to level 6, and was able to buy out before he dies. Now the snowball into middle lane. Miracle already dropped low, gets off a beautiful tornado hitting on 2, but they've thrown out the preempted dust to make sure he does in fact die. Nuts may get burned out, but no, looks like he's good. S4 claims yet another kill, and this time around, they're making sure to shut down Miracle nice and early before he gets that good mid-game Quaswex Invoker going.
Yeah, without phase boots, you've got the double blades of attack, so you're relying heavily on getting your last hits in early, and then into the phase to try and maybe move around a little bit as crit down the bottom.
Uh-oh. Okay, he's dropping low. Brain Sap going off in the last second. It looks like the Wisp is going to be going down. No-Tail still trying to chase down Ake, but realized that is going to be a fruitless attempt. And now with Loda, the sprint, not off cooldown. He's going to be slowed down soon by Fly. It looks like the MP plus a Cold Snap is going to keep Loda at bay.
That power shot, though, very nearly killed No-Tail. But this has forced him off the bottom lane. Loda just walks back and says, right, thanks for the farm, I'll take that. Lovely little creeps. Oh, gee, they feel pressured here. Definitely. Look at them grouping up as 5 towards the middle lane. S4 is he's having a laugh at mid. 24 last hits. Again, the only thing to look at here really is Moon. The offlaner is kind of free farming, but he's free farming against the Doom. So the value there is that Doom is going to be beating him in net worth. Not by much, 300 at this point, but he's going to start scaling up pretty quickly. So I think for OG, they're just kind of biding their time, waiting for the levels to kick in. Get No-Tail level 6, relocate is definitely valuable from crit to move themselves around the map onto Miracle and onto Sven, because these are two heroes. You add in the Winter Wyvern once Fly gets 6, but that's miles away. But Sven and Invoker are two heroes that are pretty decent at setting up for relocate ganks. EMP Tornado, Stormhammer, then chase with a Warcry. Who do they target though? S4 has Windrun, Bulldog has Scorched Earth, there's Loader with Sprint, Tusk has Snowball. Arcade's like the only hero that they can reliably jump on and find kills on.
Now this Smoke is going to find Miracle. They do have Moon here with the response. They are able to get out the stun. Nice Tornado actually stocks up Ake, and they're holding him in. With the EMP, they're able to stop him from being able to get off a Brain Sap. Beautiful turnaround from OG as they counted on Alliance to provide yet another gank onto Miracle. But this time around, the trap was set, and OG spring it quite nicely.
Moon Meander single-handedly bringing them back into this game. Level 6, almost 7 on the Sven. It's difficult, though. Loader spots him out and runs him down. This does give a lot of breathing room, and this is, again, this is the point I made at the end of game number 1. There's so much emphasis put onto killing Miracle. Mm-hmm. So much emphasis in the draft on Miracle. We used to see people first banning Anti-Mage against him, and I just wonder if teams have got to start adapting to him being there by, not just by focusing down in the early stages.
Shackle shot missed out, but meanwhile, Nuts is going to be chased away by No-Tail with Warcry. No-Tail will be able to get in range of Nuts and get some damage out of the Rocket Barrage, but not sure this is going to be enough. Oh, nice really? Snowball dodge there. They have another Rocket Barrage coming up. Meanwhile, S4 is going to be taking out EMP double kill. Miracle. Fortunate happenstance as that Tusk just walks into the EMP trying to get away from the rest of OG and gives Miracle the kill.
So Moon Meander has transitioned into this roaming Sven now. He's just running around saying, okay, if you're going to move from bottom to middle lane, I'll be that barrier. I'll be there ready and waiting for the Tusk to snowball in. And even with the dodge, the great dodge by Crit with the, not Crit, Nuts. I'm so used to Crit playing Tusk that it just rolls off the tongue. With Nuts dodging the Stormhammer there, still unable to make anything happen.
Now, once again, Alliance are in this position where they do have this free farming Bulldog. He's sitting at 3,600 net worth. The only one he's actually being beaten by is that Invoker. Just picked up the double kills, plus they got the tier 1 tower. That is going to be a quite the silver lining for Alliance, that Admiral Bulldog is going to get a lot of farm quite early on. It looks like he's going for the very early Vlads, and is... I think he actually goes Vlads and drums here in this game.
I think he goes drum. Like, people usually go the sort of naked Basilius for lane sustain and mana regen. Then it's phase drums, then you decide where you want to go to next, because Blink could be valuable. You could still think about the Aghanim Scepter, but we've even seen people go for like the Shadow Blade, go for the S and Y. But I think Vlad's into Blink, then maybe a casual plate mail is definitely going to be valuable here against OG.
I feel like the Vlad's isn't always necessary. I think sometimes Dooms build it, and in certain situations I feel like it's just not worth what it's giving you. But in this game, you're seeing a lot of physical damage. You don't even have that many nukes. The Sven, physical, Gyrocopter's obviously a mix, but even the Invoker as your mid actually provides a lot of physical damage with this Quas Wex build, as he's getting a lot of right clicks in with the phase boots drums that he tends to go for. So I feel like the armor is actually really valuable from Vlad's.
It's time. OG, they've hit their levels. They've got cooldown up in 15 seconds. And Moon has 4 points in the Stormhammer. They've got stuns, they've got catch. And Loader doesn't have a lot of HP to work with if he does get caught out here.
Thing is about these smokes is that they are so valuable. Oh, Miracle actually picking the mid kill on the Bane, but it's up top lane where that smoke's going to come into play. Loda gets sprint, gets a pretty far distance, but not far enough away from that Gyrocopter ultimate. Nuts is actually going to bring him inside. The Snowball goes to Moon, maybe not where they really wanted to go. Immediate stun follow up, and they're trying to get out of this one. The Splinter Blast heading out. They're going straight for the Wisp as Admiral Bulldog wants to be able to run him down. A stun goes out. Nuts, amplify damage on a Moon. Maybe Admiral Bulldog's going to turn onto that one. No-Tail's able to survive through that Doom and can turn things around. Miracle almost finishing off S4 from the back is now going to be snowballed up. Oh, what a shackle shot, but they have the cold embrace to be able to keep him alive, but No-Tail ends up going down instead. They get the Wisp as well off the back of the amplified damage. Ake is going to be falling here against Moon, though, and Alliance still looking perhaps for a little bit more. Ice Shards gets laying out there. Miracle, they still have all that amplified damage vision, but they're not going to try and fight it out any further. I think they're lucky to be alive in that scenario, especially since the Doom felt like it was kind of wasted on that Gyrocopter.
And No just backed up and said, fine, I'll run past your tower. I'll just walk myself out of here. But Miracle was one hit away from killing off S4 there. And if he got that kill, OG walk over them. Because the shackle shot doesn't come through, there's no power shot, there's no real damage output from them. Because Loader was so low on the HP. He was just sprinting himself away. And you can see the sort of difficulty Loader's having here, moving from bottom to top, and he's being chased around the map, really. He hasn't found any safe place to farm. His net worth is really straggling behind. But as
Wiz? Uh-oh. That wasn't really the tether that you wanted. Still, though, he's going to be fine. Most of Alliance still back on their side of the map. We've got the drums now complete. We'll see whether or not Doom wants to go for the Vlads and potential Blink build that we're talking about earlier. But yeah, the smokes are so valuable here for OG. If they get like one good pickoff, thanks to the Sven-Wiz combination, they actually have amazingly good tower pushing capabilities. And same goes with taking Roshan. Between the amped up damage of God's Strength and then the increased attack speed, Sven becomes this extraordinary physical damage dealer in these growth period points of time.
The great thing is for Alliance as well is that if you doom the Invoker, what does he do? He right-clicks you, he runs away. He's got to be a little bit careful. Like, if the triple quad is up for Invoker, then dooming him is going to be shutting him down in a team fight, but it's not going to be that kill factor or opening up any real damage onto him. They just... OG were waiting for the levels, and they got them with a good sort of defensive stance from Moon in the first 8-9 minutes or so, but now Alliance, they're the ones who are lacking on farm. They need their initial items. Still waiting for a blink on Loader.
Yeah, and it's not very close either.
They have to go in with a snowball now, but who do they catch? OG are all actually hiding off the map at this point.
Yeah, they're just going to head into the jungle, hope to catch someone. They know that Gyrocopter Wiz has been farming that up a lot, but they see the Gyro mid. I guess they're hoping for rotations behind that tier 1 tower, but Moon, who was farming up the jungle.
This guy's Blink. You're gonna have a Sven Blink, he's 5,100 net worth, and you add that into the Gyro catch, the Winter Wyverns hit level 6. You've got the makings of the perfect storm here for OG.
Yeah, he's well ahead of Loda. S4's gonna just focus fire down this tier 1 tower. Looks like OG are not gonna challenge for it, as they're content with just taking the enemy jungle and pushing down the tier 2 right now.
Group up as 5, try and force OG into you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So again, Alliance have some pretty good displacement spells on them to stop these team fights just charging over them. If Arcade, like, a lot of this relies on Nuts and Arcade and their positioning. You know, snowball saves, we've seen a bunch of them this game already, and dodging out storm hammers and things like that. But I think Arcade with the Fiend's Grip, if he can catch the Wisp or the Wyvern, and it all comes down, the relocate.
The relocate's gonna come in with the Winter's Curse over the top. They're throwing everything they had to kill S4. And such an overwhelming attack from OG prompts no response from Alliance, as they know the moment S4 is dead, that was such heavy committal from OG that Alliance can't actually punish him for it.
And they all moved off the bot lane as well, so it's not as though they've got someone still farming down there. Bulldog, what's he picked up? Ogre Club. Is he going for BKB? It's a good value item, if not just against the Wex Invoker here. That Tornado EMP is really difficult to handle if you're just running at people with Scorched Earth.
Alliance do mount up, defending that tier 2 tower, but it's still OG controlling most of the map. Combine the fact that they've got 3 different farming cores, while Alliance, I mean, Loda's still kind of struggling in farm, so I'm not sure if you really want to call him a farming core. Like, he's going to get his Blink Dagger, but Sven's going to be, you know, working his way towards BKB, Crystallis. Like, you're going to see a lot of mid to late game potential out of the Sven that you're not going to see the same out of the Slardar.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a big question as well. What does Loda go after the Blink? Because we used to see him go for the Midas to keep him in contention for that exact reason, because he's not a great flash farmer. He relies on kills a lot of the time.
Right.
If the game becomes stagnant and people stop fighting, where does he get that
here's
from?
One hell of a kill. They've got the Fiend's Grip. Miracle, there's no response, not even a relocate. Moon actually coming in. Now they relocate. They're going to go straight for Ake. They will be able to get that quick kill. And S4 is actually running out of win run. He's going to be kind of caught here. But no, the Doom actually getting laid on the Sven. Meanwhile, they're controlling No-Tail enough. Looks like with the amplified damage, they'll easily be able to get that kill. No, they relocate. They actually got him out. Fly's now going to be the target from Admiral Bulldog as they've taken down the Sven on the right-hand side. And Alliance pick up 3 there, all in exchange for Ake. OG. I can't believe they actually went for that fight. I guess they really thought it was just going to be S4 and that Ake Bane. But now the Tusk shows up, the Slardar and Admiral Bulldog all filing in.
Bulldog just comes in from the side, like, not Sven, enough of this. No more nonsense. Now they reap the fruit of their labor. Get into the Roche pit. And Aegis up onto... who do you put it on? S4, I feel, is one of the better targets, just because she's so fragile.
Yeah.
But then Loda's the one jumping into the middle of the team fight. Looks like he's the one that's posturing for it, yeah.
So they're going to try and get a little bit of extra life out of this Slardar. And I can see, I mean, he's still so squishy, especially when he sprints up. He's blink daggers in. Now he can make a little bit more of a heavier commitment for his team to follow up.
But Miracle is now hitting that point we saw him last game. With the drums Yule's phase, he becomes very difficult to kill unless he's caught out like he was in the jungle. He's got so much mobility behind him and almost max Wex. No BKBs just yet for Alliance. I think Bulldog is going to be going for that one. 1600 gold saved up on top of Ogre Club. Just want to make sure you don't lose any of that. But No-Tail, this Jaro this time around, not having the amazing game he did previously, you know, the kill score already indicates that one. Alliance have done a very good job in controlling all of their lanes and not rushing the BKB. Phase drums Aquila now back into the helm. So No-Tail, it looks like a little more content just to tank himself up. Again, armor from the Helm of the Dominator. Even though people don't really think about it a lot, you know, Helm of the Dominator's thought, right, lifesteal, going to Satanic, it's great. As Tusk, nuts. Snowball dodge, but he's going to be going straight into the enemy.
Well, the rest of his team is coming in. If they get a really good Winter's Curse, though, OG can still turn this one around until the Doom gets laid out. Fly's definitely dead here. Loda makes sure that is definitely going to be top priority. The rest of OG, we get a lot of damage out from those spirits. Crit rounds out another one. And No-Tail is immediately going to be the target here. They're going to be able to surround him pretty quick, and I'm not sure if this is really a play. It looks like Crit's going to try and save him, but no, the relocate got canceled, and now he's going to be dying as well. And it looks like they've even caught Miracle. The Fiend's Grip gets laid out, the stun follow-up, and that's going to be 4 down. Alliance surging up big time as they manage to turn a catch of 1 into the 4 other heroes. How does that even happen, though? OG, they should have just been able to give up the Winter Wyvern. Why did they turn?
They realized that with the sprint, Windrunner, Scorched Earth, and the Snowball, there are so many chasing mechanisms here. You know, you add in the Blink from Loda. But what do you have to escape as OG? You've got Relocate and Ghost Walk. The Sven was nowhere near. His TP was on cooldown, I believe. He didn't actually jump himself up onto that top lane. Looks like Moon Meander.
I believe
to bot.
That was Level Death that canceled the relocate, right?
I didn't see. I was watching...
I mean, it was a decent plan in that, like, okay, the Doom draws distraction on the left-hand side, and then the Wisp goes, relocates him out, and then they're actually in a pretty decent position after that. Maybe they even save everybody. And No-Tail, gonna be target once again. They have the amplified damage leading with the stun first. The follow-up. Crit comes in with an extra bit of tether heal, but that's not nearly gonna be enough. It is now he's gonna be the next target. Slept up, amplified damage. And burst him down as well. Winter's Curse laid out. Here? Fly, what are you really going to do here all by yourself? That's just going to be a blown ultimate for nothing. And Fly only just barely managing to escape there. If he didn't go over the cliff, he would have died. Miracle's left with this awkward position where he wants to go and fight with this kind of build. Phase boots, drums, Yules. But his team is just getting picked off so often. They can't really get a grip on this game.
And with the amp damage there, he's such a great target for Alliance just to jump on as well. He can't use that Ghost Walk like he did previously to run himself in and out of team fights. Loda's been pretty on point with that. And it looks like he's going into a BKB on the Slardar as well as Bulldog finishing his up.
Yeah, he's made quite the recovery. I was looking at the Sven going, okay, the Sven's going to be ahead of you in net worth almost constantly.
Nope.
But that's no longer the case. Loda actually now contesting him a bit. Is going to go for the BKB, same as the Sven. No-Tail still has some stacks to farm, and that will help him catch up to some of the heroes that have surpassed him in net worth recently. And that's something, unfortunately, Alliance can't really contest very well.
How well are they going to be doing at taking down towers, though? With the Ags on S4, I guess that gives them a pretty good increase in damage onto these tier 2s. But tier 1 mid is still there, open and ready for the taking. It's scary walking into things like cooldown in that closed environment, though, for Alliance. If they do want to take down some more towers and, you know, encroach onto the enemy side of the map, I think it's going to take a smoke forward because they see they see Nuts there.
Yeah, Nuts is dead.
They see Arcade
Snowball of
well.
Doom. He actually gets a lot of damage on the Wisp. He goes for the punch onto him, but not going to get there in time.
Hot shot.
But they are buying enough space for Loda to finish up his BKB, and then at that point, they'll definitely fight. Unfortunately, it's not going to be around the Aegis, which is a little bit peculiar. It feels like they could have just forced a fight with the Aegis and gotten the BKB off of a good team fight. But instead, they just let it expire in exchange for that magic immunity.
Oh,
Admiral Bulldog. Wrong time, wrong place, or right time. Perhaps wrong use of item there. Pops the BKB, and you can understand.
Better safe than sorry?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Because Moon with a blink jump stun. Tornado EMP is difficult to handle. But they didn't see him there. Does Doom have greater night vision than these guys?
I don't know.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Or maybe they, like...
weren't looking?
Yeah,
they were like so focused on that medium camp. Right, guys, let's go this direction. Well, either way, Bulldog gets out.
Oh man, they're going to have a Glimmer Cape pretty soon on the Bane. That's actually going to be such a good saving mechanism.
And Mech on the Tusk. He's 800 off that. So they've got the sustain and utility on their supports, which can't be said for the Radiant side. Crit and Fly, both a little bit poor.
Another tier 2 being threatened. The S4 starts chipping it down with the focus fire. He's got Ake behind him with this beautiful shadow amulet set up. Not too many times you're going to hear that said. He'll start backing out, though. It doesn't look like anyone from OG is going to... I don't know. I kind of feel like eventually someone is going to show up if S4 continues to just beat on that tier 2, or they just fully back up.
I think they're super worried about fighting into the BKBs. OG...
You mean OG?
Yeah. Like, giving a tier 2 is a valid kind of freebie to give Alliance right now if they're going to take tier 2 up at top and take control of the enemy jungle. Like, they're not just losing the tier 2 for nothing. They give it to them, but they take something in exchange.
Well, Immediate Alliance should be looking at that tier 1 mid. They obviously can't get to top in time. That's already been taken out, so they're just going to 5-man through mid, take away that tier 1 tower, and that actually takes away so much of the limited Radiant control of the Roshan. That Roshan pit, they've got nothing to TP to it. So if Alliance can manage to, like, even just 5-man push top and force rotations, if they force rotations and back out successfully, that's almost like a guaranteed Roshan, just because they've got such good team for doing Roshan between focus fire and amp damage, and there's no TPs for OG that are potential. Fly's just going to get bursted down. Loda found that quick pick off with the Blink Dagger. And OG, I think they're looking at perhaps fighting around this tier 2 tower if they have the Winter Wyvern alive. They could just Winter's Curse relocate in.
Oh, S4?
S4? No, he's out.
Quick
He's
on
not
her
going to be
feet.
hit by that one at all.
They're coming in around from the side, though.
Yeah,
Loda's
this is
right
dangerous.
here.
Loda's going to start setting up there. Oh, what?
Hey!
Loda was on point with that one. If he
Yeah.
was half a second faster or just a little bit closer, he stops that relocate. And that's actually...
2 of them.
Yeah, that's both of them. There's no way I think Gyro gets out.
The hits and crits from Bulldog.
Oh, I can't believe Loda didn't score that one.
Unfortunate. And this series is super important for Alliance, honestly. Like, the Group A in this Phase 2 group stage, Alliance are currently 7-1, Monkey Business 6-0. So being able to go 8-2 in this group pretty much keeps you up there in top 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a couple of teams that can, you know, pop their heads up and say, hey, Monkey Business, we're going to get into that second spot.
It's pretty much VP. Pretty much VP is the best team to go for. Miracle's going to be caught here. The BKB activated. There's nothing really to stop this one. The Amplify damage, Yule Scepter, Winter Wyvern, Curse getting laid out. And Miracle actually does get away until the Doom's laid out on him. The best Admiral Bulldog can hope for now is to snag that kill ahead of the deny, but he's being held up by No Tail. Looks like that missile's going to put a stop to him. And no, the Wisp actually keeps him alive. Meanwhile, the Sven does go down. Miracle's going to be able to survive, and Alliance take a quick peek into the Roshan pit. The big boy's not up just yet.
That's a fight where Tusk doesn't even use back.
Oh, okay. Tornado
He's
hits
fine.
him. Shackle shot. Yule Scepter just in case, making sure that one doesn't land. The Force Staff follow up. They're going to try and pop Miracle with the amplified damage. They catch him out.
He's
Looks
dead.
like the Focus fires enough damage easily. Now Fly comes forward. Doesn't actually have a Winter's Curse. Not sure what his plan is here. But OG...
If that Shackle hits Gyro.
Yeah, they're just going to be losing a number of heroes. In fact, Loda's going to look for more. They want to try and catch No Tail. Loda, Blink Dagger up, 5 seconds. He's got the amp damage. Looks like No Tail's going to be dying as well.
Oh, no, they're backing up. They're going
Go
back in.
for it. Blink in. Loda. Now
There
hits
we
the
go.
blink. They commit for the kill. They get a big critical out of Admiral Bulldog as well.
full
And on the
wipe.
side, Wiz ends up going down. Monkey Business, a.k.a. OG. They've just been wiped.
And Roshan's about to spawn.
Beautiful timing for Alliance here. Potentially forcing this
Radiant's middle
two-game
tower is
series
under
into
attack.
a tie. Securing themselves a great slot in the defense. They're going to back up. Sigil going to reveal Roshan here in a second. They know it has to spawn quite soon. And that's going to be a free Aegis for OG, most likely. Unless OG just start,
Middle tower
you know,
is under
Unless-
mass swarming into... It's not even possible.
Like, you can't even relocate the Gyro in there to try and steal it or anything. There's no way. And this time they go to S4. The fragile-ish Wind Ranger, even though she has BKB.
I was about to say, Fragile is
1800 HP.
relative at this point. Normally you look at a Wind Ranger and she's like such a glass cannon, but the way S4 built this one...
Yeah, no blink, no crit, no maelstrom.
Yeah.
I guess with amp damage, you're fine.
Yeah, you really don't need an increase of damage as long as you're not getting stunned. That's a good point. And he's not the only damage dealer either. And let's not forget they also have the Alpha pack leader Sora. So it's actually insane how much damage the Wind Ranger can put out without a single damage item.
Do they have a gem yet on Alliance? They're just running around with sentries, right? I think it's at that stage of the game now where you're ahead. You have Aegis. You've got some lead over OG. It's time to start limiting the wards. Get rid of the vision of them. But I think more importantly, you keep vision over the people that are going to start building into Glimmer Capes. The Wisp, the Winter Wyvern, and then there's the Ghost Walk from Miracle. Once you have that gem up, you just have this overruling power.
Radiant's
And they're even...
middle
Oh,
tower is
Miracle.
under attack.
Loda was trying to come in from the back.
Radiant structures are
Fortunately, they're not going to be able to get that catch. Meanwhile, No Tail and Crit just trying to do their best Tiny Wisp impersonation right now.
Dire's top
Split
tower
pushing
is
out that
under
top
attack.
lane, hoping to be able to force Alliance back, but obviously the Gyrocopter can't really provide the same kind of pressure on the towers. Alliance are still going to oblige, though. They're not going to try and push uphill with the Aegis just yet.
They're all TPing back. Got to defend.
MKB completed on the Gyrocopter. So that'll really help against the Wind Ranger, but she's still tanky as all hell. And it's not even like the Gyrocopter, you can't out-damage the Wind Ranger just because you have MKB.
Yeah, that focus fire makes it really hard. And then there's still things like Fiend's Grip coming in from the side, with Bane having 2,200 gold here. What do you reckon? Like, Blink
Yeah.
Dagger, Force Staff?
I think with the Glimmer Cape, you're probably relying on that in a way. So if you get yourself a good Glimmer, Blink in Fiend's Grip, you're probably unlikely to be stopped, at least not fast enough.
What about
Admiral
things
Bulldog's
like...
dead.
Oh dear.
He gets off the BKB ahead of the Winter's Curse, but it doesn't matter. There's so much physical damage out of these heroes. He's gonna try and get away with the phase boots. Don't tell me. Oh my god, the stun comes in for Loda, but Doom still dies. Looks like Kurt's gonna be taken out by that power chop, and they're making a full committal here with the Doom still on No Tail. They've got that kill with the Fiend's Grip. Long range from Ake. Miracle's gonna be caught as well, and Alliance will gladly make that trade. Bulldog with the quick fingers getting off the BKB results in him surviving long enough that Alliance win the fight quite handily.
pre-nerf Doom would have survived that.
He probably would have too.
Honestly, with drums,
He really would have.
Drums magic stick, Bulldog very, very nearly escaped there as the final projectiles coming out of Invoker that managed to take him down. Like, holy crap, Scorched Earth, that's an ability in the Dota 2 video game. What a freaking skill.
And now S4 is going to head up to the tier 2 at the top lane. Take that one out with the help of Nuts. Who would gladly tank it for his lovely redhead.
It was all a trap, though. Loda, he's been a beast on this ladder, honestly.
Yeah, he really has.
He's 3-0 and 12 cap. I didn't even realize he hadn't died yet. Like
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Loda?
Right? He had a decent
What a
time.
legend.
Like, the first 3 minutes was like, yeah, Loda's doing pretty well. He's going okay. He's trading farm here. Then 3 to 7 minutes was like, oh, where does Loda go? He's got nowhere to farm. And all of a sudden, you look at him and 30 minutes in, hang on a second, he's a monster.
Go you, Loda.
Literally has monster
And here
in
I
his
was
name.
like, oh, Sven.
Yeah, oh, Sven's going to outfarm him.
Nope. Not even. He's going to have an AC soon.
The Rogue Knight is a peasant.
Yeah, he really is. Well, he's not too much of a peasant. He's got 2,500 gold right now. He's living an all-right life. He could still make that full transition into beast mode, Sven. With the Wisp, like, at a certain point in time...
AC on Sven? Yeah, he's got Hyperstone.
Yeah.
I guess Miracle's going for a Hex here. Not the Lincolns this time.
All right, smoke time? Smoke with just
Under the
3?
ward.
Or just 2? The funny thing is, between Ghostwalk and then the fact that the Gyrocopter Wisps don't obviously smoke because they have relocate, your smokes are only for like Winter Wyvern and Sven at most.
But there's the gem on Akko I was waiting for. So he did go for the blink and then into the gem.
Might as well take some control.
We don't even have the glimmers on the 2 supports on the Radiant though. This is just going to be for dewarding missions. Oh, here's a smoke on 4. So OG are pushing out.
They will not.
So they will have the relocate. This is one of the big things, I think. They have the relocate for defensive maneuvers. And that's pretty important. I don't think when you're far enough behind like this, you can't just be like, oh, we'll just relocate in. Right? Because you kind of need that ability to actually save somebody from the Doom. Or the quick targeting of focus fire or something like that.
They're just sitting and waiting. Alliance, they're not going to get caught here. And what vision do we have left? These 2 wards up on the north side of the map from OG, they're not going to last too long. They're not going to see anything either. Oh, they know where Miracle is. S4, can you solo kill this with a crit?
Yeah, because this,
No.
That was definitely not. Oh, S4. Hold up, Moon. I don't think that was the targeting, my friend. He's going to be blocked out. Nice setup by Nuts. Ice Shard. Actually catching Moon. Moon apparently thinking that was potentially a solo S4.
Not a chance.
Yeah, not on your
that's a Sven who just bought Hyperstone, popped his BKB, has no God Strength, has no buyback either.
S4 almost catching Miracle there with an aggressive blink forward into the base.
Is this a lane of racks?
Maybe. They do have the push out from No Tail and Crit. Trying to force Alliance back desperately, but S4 is taking that tier 3 so damn fast. Still, though, looks like it's going to be a tier 3 for tier 3 to start things off. Jesus, Loda! He just takes out the Winter Wyvern so quickly, and Miracle quickly follows. The tier 3 is down at the top lane. The reinitiation now as OG come back in with Miracle. Shackle Shot not quite latching. They do have Loda leading the way here at the top lane, trying to put a stop to that Gyrocopter Wisp. Looks like it is successful. Tier 3 for tier 3, but they forced some buybacks out of OG. Or at least one of them. Oh, no, that was 2. Winter Wyvern and the Invoker both bought back, huh?
That's pretty big. Sven respawns, though, so not really worth fighting into this for Alliance. I think you just wait for the next Roshan here. Give that over to S4 again, because he's got... Oh, he's got full Daedalus done. Holy crap. And buyback. That's like the perfect win range right there. Ags, BKB, Daedalus, 36 minutes in, and buyback available.
Watch Gyrocopter just melt. Like, what's the point of going BKB at this point? I don't think you go BKB now in the Gyrocopter. I think you have to go at least a Talisman. I mean, that's very clearly not going to be enough. The Wind Ranger is still going to get, one of those crits and there goes a third of your life or something. But
Because there's no one to go medallion or anything.
yeah.
Like Wisp can't. He just bought Glimmer Cape. The Winter Wyvern is poor as hell. I think you're right.
And I mean, he's still going to go with the BKB. He's able to finish up right now, but we'll see if that works out for him.
Doom is huge at this point.
He gets targeted by the amp damage and focus fire. He's just going to disappear, BKB or no.
They've ramped up their chasing power even more because Bulldog just finished off his Shiva's guard.
You know, I kind of felt like, oh my god! Roshan, no!
Sorry, what? I looked... Bloody hell.
Amp damage, level 3, focus fire with the Daedalus.
That's cheese as well, right? That's the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, loaded with the cheese.
That was AC as well. Oh. Roshan's not having any more kids for a while, that's for sure. Is that Miracle? Is he going a Scythe of Ice right now? Looks like it. Or is he going Lincoln's again? Is that... Yeah, I guess against Doom. Yeah, Lincoln's again.
Who,
That's
Miracle?
probably the play.
Miracle's got the Hex done.
Radiant's courier
Oh, he is going for the Scythe. Okay. All I saw with the Void Stone at first.
He would have
He
the Hex
would. Loda.
if the courier hadn't
Loda
just
is-
died.
He's coming back with a vengeance,
I
man.
think that's game winning.
I think so, too. I mean, even just that plate mail is going to be worth so much.
Because Miracle had been holding on for so long. He had Ultimate Orb and Perseverance, and the Void Stone, and he's just waiting for that money to come in. I guess he knew he didn't have buyback for this one either, so he just went for that one big item. But with the Melarax gone, and Alliance pushing in bot and mid, it's going to be a difficult hold here. Let's see, Fly, it's on to you. Level 2 Winter's Curse.
Tornado EMP getting laid out. Warcry spent there a little preemptively. Loda trying to get a quick amp damage. Does buy space for S4 to finish up this range Rax, and Alliance will back up.
has fallen.
One lane of Rax ahead of OG.
And OG can't chase. They've got no vision outside of their base. They have no idea what Alliance are doing, where they're going. They can kind of assume that.
And no buybacks without also the items that you invested in to
Yeah.
kill those buybacks. It's just not a good scenario for you to
It
force
is
fights right now.
Time to sit in your base and spam spells. Tornadoes,
Alliance just
Splinter
keep
Blast.
going, right? Knowing that they picked off the courier and it's still down for what? Like it's probably another minute and a half.
They've all got BKB still, Cap.
Yeah, just keep going. Push out the bottom lane, which is already looking pretty good. They've got Shiva's on Admiral Bulldog
Level
with another
3 Doom.
2k.
I got Force Blink, Mech, Snowball on your Tusk.
Okay, so how does OG actually initiate? Because we've seen the way that S4's and the rest of Alliance are going to set this up. S4's on the front. You've got Loda occasionally blinking in, looking for the initiation, perhaps an amp damage. And then there's the rest of Alliance are very, sitting very far back,
Yeah.
waiting it out. How do you initiate onto S4?
That's the thing. I wonder if it even is the Winter's Curse initiation, or if Moon has to go in and bait spells out. Like, does anyone from Radiant have buyback? No, no one does.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's the one thing I'd look for is, have that sacrificial lamb. The one hero that goes in, dies, buys back, and that's what gives them the initiation they need.
Right.
But you don't have that one hero to jump in because you don't have any buybacks. And you can't give up the Wisp because he's such an integral part of your team fight, keeping the Gyro and Sven alive and pumping out damage. So
S4?
OG should pop the Aegis here. Or maybe not. S4 wants to give away, wants to give it up. No.
Okay.
Life steal from the Vlads, okay.
Not
When
sure if
does
he's
it-
really going to be able to go back with 200 HP and get anything done. So sure enough, Sven throws out another stun. Are they going to try and take advantage of the S4? No.
Not a
Just
chance.
not far enough. Not far enough ahead for them to take advantage of that positioning.
Dire's top barracks
Spamming out their Splinter Blast. Tier 3 tower is going to go down, and if they
are fortified.
That's the
can't afford
clear-
to give up a second lane of Rax.
Like, mid is
Okay.
being pushed in.
Now
by
they have the
creeps.
courier.
Dire's
They had that
top
Scythe of
barracks
Ice.
are under attack.
You have to fight now. If Alliance try and push up again and finish off that tier 3 tower, you go for it.
Who do you hex, though? Who's your target?
Nuts. He's actually the one to blink forward and take out that tower, and now the reinitiation load actually goes in. They already get out the ultimate onto Miracle. That's going to take him out of the fight completely. Winter Wyvern's gone. No chance for a good Winter's Curse. Moon's going to be held in by the Fiend's Grip as well. No Tail chased away by Loda, who's actually got to blink up in a second. Oh, good bash, and that'll be easily enough to finish up the game as OG call it for game number 2. It ends in a tie. Alliance, who are sitting top of the group right now thanks to their score of 7-1.
So that's their last series. Alliance are now sitting 8-2, and that's it. Monkey Business now at 7-1. They've got 1 series left to play, and then it's VP, like you said. They've played 6 out of their 10 games, so they've got two game series left to go, and they could potentially, if they go 4-0, right? They go 8-2. They take second spot, maybe.
Right. It all just comes down to some potential tiebreakers. Monkey Business can still take the top slot if they go flawless from here on out. But showing that OG, that they aren't gods, they do bleed. I mean, that was the thing for me. We were both talking about it before the series, that we both felt like, I personally, going into majors, have OG as my third place team.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to do very well there. And I also said before, in the last time that I cast an alliance against Empire, I said that I felt like they're a tier 1 team, that they're going to show that at the majors. And for me, taking a game off of OG actually gives validation to that. Right? Because, beating Empire is not incredibly amazing right now. Empire is, they're looking pretty down. But OG is definitely the team to beat right now. They're the up-and-comers. They're the best of the non-invite teams quite easily. So, Alliance showing that they do have some strength left. But I would be really interested if this was a best of 3, which way would it go? I feel like it would go the way of OG.
I think so too.
But still, I think Alliance are going to be pretty happy with the way this one ended.
Yeah, and both teams continue their unbeaten run. So that puts OG 11 games unbeaten across series and Alliance up to 7.